Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. So we got another handful of stocks here we're going to cover. If this is your first time joining in, pretty simple. All we do is look over a few stocks here in the morning, try and give you guys some insight on the stocks that I will be focusing on throughout the morning. Again, I'm a day trader, so most of the picks that I do look at or stocks that I tend to look at are more so for day trading, not swing trading. So just keep that in mind while going through the watch list. Good morning to everybody joining in. Glad to have you here this morning. So yesterday ended up being a pretty good day. I was up 900 at one point. Then I made a silly 2 trades, brought myself down to about 450. Then made a trade back later in the day, put me up to about 900. So I finished my day yesterday up about 900 bucks. So that will mark the fourth, I think it's the fourth green trading day in a row of this month. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So today is the 5th trading day of the month. The 7th, we'll be looking to obviously go green. The goal I set for myself, which is the same goal every month, is to be green every single day of the month. I have never been green every single day of the month, but this month is a great start considering I haven't had a red day yet. So I do intend on going green every single day with a daily goal of 1,000, which would essentially put me at $20,000 profit on the month. That's my goal. So we'll see if we can beat that. That was the goal last month. Missed it horribly. Hopefully we hit it this month. All right. So let's go ahead and start sharing the screen and let's get into it. All right, guys. So first thing I'll do is I'll talk about the stock AXON because I know a lot of people are watching AXON. Yeah, so I tend to not trade pre-market. It's just kind of my thing. I don't know. So the way that I always explain it is, yeah, you can make money pre-market. There's plenty of times where I could have made a killing pre-market. But on the same note, I just tend to trade the open because the open is where most of the volatility is, where most of the volume is. One of the ways I always explained it is, in society, there's this saying where it's good to go against the crowd. And I'm sure you guys have heard that. It's kind of most people try and go with the flow and just kind of blend in and, don't make a name for yourself, kind of stay hidden, go with the flow, be with the group, right? But in trading, I think it's a little bit of, in the world, they always say you should go against what everybody else is doing. Sorry, it's backwards, right? In society, they say it's good to go against what everyone else is doing and to stand out and make a difference kind of thing. Whereas in trading, I feel it's a little bit of the opposite, where it's, if you're trading pre-market, you're kind of trading usually with less volume and less traders. Whereas if you're trading when the market opens, you're trading with the herd. So you kind of blend in and follow along there, which kind of makes it easier to sometimes make money and not get crushed on things like with liquidity. So, everybody has their way of doing it. Mine personally, I like to trade when markets open. With that being said, AXON is the first stock we'll talk about here. Again, a lot of people are watching it. It was the big penny stock yesterday that ended up crushing it and running up early in the morning. No, Chad. Yeah, you can trade pre-market. You just usually have to get some type of okay from your trading broker. So right now, AXON is at a high of $6. Hit a high of 607 here pre-market, and as you can see, it's starting to roll over right now. All right, so a lot of people are still watching this to see if it's going to go long. If you look at the yearly chart, it broke through all the resistance. It broke through the 200 moving average, and now it's seeing resistance right at the $6 mark. So $6 is kind of key right now for the stock. To be honest, I don't know how it's going to trade right now. It doesn't look like it wants to go long out of the gates. I imagine what's probably going to happen is, since we already had a big day yesterday and now we're having another big day from after hours to pre-market. A lot of people have already made a good amount of money. So I would expect today that we're going to see AXON do something like this, where it kind of comes down pre-market and then it bounces and then it rolls back over and starts going down. It's hard to say right now. The chart's a little awkward, but it doesn't look all that great for a long bias trade considering it's starting to head down right now. So, you know, it is very challenging to say exactly what's going to happen. What I would do is I would mark off the aftermarket high. So mark off that aftermarket high, which is at like 530. And that's where I'd expect we'd probably see a bounce. So if the stock does come down some more pre-market, we'll probably see it start bouncing off of this area right here. So what I do know is it's a penny stock that's up really big. A lot of people have already made money over the past couple days. So some of those people may be looking to sell early in the morning when the bell opens. There's probably a handful of short sellers that want to short the stock down as well. So I would expect that we're probably going to see a mixed emotion fight early in the morning. I think there's going to be a mixed emotional fight between bullish traders and bearish traders. So I think we're probably going to see it maybe pop a little bit before coming down today. I don't really see this having a crazy big green day, but I could be wrong, right? Obviously. So right now I'm kind of neutral on AXON. If I were to buy it, I'd rather see it somewhere up towards 607 or down towards 530, but anywhere in between, you know, below like, you know, 6 and in between this 560s area where I had this big circle, I don't really like anything in there. What that area to me looks like is going to be a big choppy trading mess of short sellers and long bias traders. Okay, so I don't really like it there. If you're shorting it, I would imagine that you'd probably see it come down somewhere to the $5 area. And then once it hits that, we'll start getting some more, you know, bounce traders in the mix. All right. On to the next one is 5 and below, FIVE, 5. This particular stock is probably going to be my main trade for the day. As you can see, yesterday it started at about 80 bucks after hours, ran all the way to $96 here in after hours trading. Pre-market, it's starting to curl up to test the $96 area. All right. So this could very easily set up and break out and run today because that's what it looks like. We have a pop here, another pop here. We'll probably see something like that. Right. So I think 5 and below is setting up for a long bias trade today. So that's what I would do. I would watch 5 and below for a long bias trade. The reason I think it's going to go long, well, good earnings, right? So for one, we do have good earnings. We have a massive move up, right? We had a massive move. So we have good earnings, a big move up, but more importantly, once it hit 96, it did not dump. It did not just come right down. Once it hit 96, it pulled back slightly, and now it just kind of consolidated. All right, it's just kind of hanging out. So that's telling me that not a lot of people are selling. Even after this big move here, there's not a lot of people actually selling the stock, right? There may be a little bit of sells, but there's not enough that's actually driving the price back down. So that right there is telling me that this does have an opportunity to continue higher, right? Good volume, a good move up on earnings, no massive sell-off, just a little pullback. And now we're going through sideways consolidation. This is telling me that whoever bought here and here and here, they're still holding the stock. They're still holding it, waiting to see if it's going to go higher. Right. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to see a breakout here over 96 on 5 and below today. But just because I say that doesn't mean it's going to go long. You still have to be cautious of this 96.25, the pre-market high, or sorry, aftermarket high, because it could do this. It could pop up here, fail. Could pop up here again, fail, pop, fail, and then you know, people can just give up on it. If it's not going to break 96 or 96.25, buyers might just get bored or get a little nervous, and then they'll start selling, and then shorts might pile in and drive that price lower. But I would assume that we're probably going to go higher. As you can see, we're into a 52-week high too. So there is no previous price action or resistance that we can go off of at this point and this point only. The only thing we can mark off as resistance areas are going to be, you know, like the whole dollar marks. So, you know, 100, 101, 102, 105, 107. You're going to have to go by the dollars, right? You're going to have to go by the number. You're not going by price action anymore for resistance. You're going by the dollar number, all right? Being at 96, I see that this thing could easily pop and run right up to 100. I think this does have enough strength to run right up to $100, all right? And if we look at this yearly chart, you'll see that, you know, this thing does have relatively big days, right? It doesn't have a small day, or it does, but I mean, on its big days, it can run 73 to 77. I mean, it can run a few points. So I think 5 and below is going to be a good trade today. Next one on the list. So this is OKTA. So this, I think, so this one was earnings. The only reason I'm mentioning it is because of the earnings today. It had what seems to be some okay earnings. You can see it's starting to kind of trickle up. I'm not crazy about this. I'm just mentioning OKTA just to keep it on watch, right? So just keep OKTA on watch. Honestly, I would give this like a C+ rating, right? I don't really know how well this is going to do. I just know it had some relatively good earnings. So keep it on watch. We're not going to cover too much on that. I think it just might be have an okay day where you might be able to get some good trades in and on it. Next one on the list is NXPI. NXPI was a stock that I put on the watch list yesterday. It ended up going short, and I did short it yesterday, and I sold out really early because I got nervous. And anyways, I messed up a good trade. Could have had about a $400 to $500 trade. I ended up only taking 80 bucks on it. So anywho, regardless of that, they had good news yesterday, and then they just gapped up like crazy this morning. So as you can see, yesterday, after that massive push, it sold off. So I think we might see something similar where it sells off early in the morning. So if you want, I would suggest watching NXPI for a potential short today, you know, down to 118 or even down to like this 116 area. That would be a big drop. So I would say maybe a short to 118, 117 on the stock NXPI today. All right, on to the next one. Not going to touch too much there. Again, I don't really like it that much. SJM, Smuckers. Now, this is going to be another one that's going to be highly on my watch list. So the main ones are AXON, 5 and below, and SJM, which is Smuckers. These are kind of the ones that I'm really concerned with trading. All right, so here is Smuckers. From 107 down to 96, currently at about 98. Right, so you can see it had a massive gap down, earnings play, gap down, we moved back up, and now we're kind of rolling over. So we'll be watching Smuckers short today. Again, we'll be watching SJM to the short side. Now, it doesn't have all that much volume right now, so hopefully, you know, by the time the bell rolls around, we're going to start picking up in volume. I think it will pick up in some volume, but you know, look at this, right? Ready? See, watch this. So comes down, this candle here, all right? We continue down, we come back up, this candle right here, look where it stops. Right there, right at the bottom of that red candle there, these candles are stopping. So it's telling you that traders are coming down, buying it up, gets to resistance, they're selling it, right? And now it's starting to follow the 50 moving average down. So I do believe that we're probably going to see Smuckers break down to the downside today. I could be wrong, but we will be watching Smuckers to the short side today. So SJM short, that's kind of my game plan there on that particular stock. All right, so you guys have my watch list there. Oh, there's one more. Let's see how this one's doing. THO. All right, forget that one. Don't even like it anymore. So again, a little bit smaller of a watch list. Really only 3 stocks I'll really be watching. Other than that, I will always be watching some of your bigger plays. All right, so 5 and below, which is FIVE. Then we have Smuckers, which is SJM, and AXON. Those are the 3 main stocks that I'm watching as of right now. All right. I will talk a little bit more here. So this is kind of how it goes, guys, right? So what I'm about to say here, do pay attention to, because, you know, it's very simple what I'm about to say, but it might, for some of you guys, it might make a light bulb pop on. It might make something click. So when you hear of people saying, I traded this stock, or I traded this stock, or, you know, day traders make this much money on this stock and blah, 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 right? Typically, right, we always have these random stocks. I call them random because they're not your typical stocks that you would trade on any given day, right? Like, you would never catch me trading Smuckers. You would never catch me trading AXON. You would never catch me trading 5 and below, right? Those are just tickers that you don't typically see people, or you yourself most likely won't be trading on any given day, right? Like, on any given day, you're not just watching Smuckers. On any given day, you're not watching AXON. You're only watching Smuckers. You're only watching 5 and below. You're only watching AXON because they had earnings and they're gapping down or gapping up. AXON was a penny stock that just started trading and being really good. So it draws attention to them right now. Okay. It's like a fad. It's right. It's something that's trending. And that's the only reason we watch it, is because it's trending right now. And in 3 days from now, it'll be gone. And then there's going to be a few different ones to play. But we always watch the bigger name companies like Facebook, Apple, Tesla, Google, and really any other big blue chip stock that you may be comfortable with. So you always have kind of these set stocks that you're familiar with and comfortable with, so that if in fact there is no random stock like AXON or Smuckers or 5 and below, right? If there's none of those random kind of trending stocks today, you just result back to your familiar stocks that you're comfortable with, all right? So that's how your watch list should typically be, right? Your watch list should always be a few random stocks, and then you always have your main stocks, right? Because if you only trade based off of trending or random stocks, some days you may not have any good stocks to trade, and what are you going to do? Not trade? Possibly, but no one wants to do that. So always remember, your watch list should be comprised of a few randos and then a few familiars, all right? So you got your randos and then you got your familiars, right? Oh, wow, the cannabis legislation in Canada does come out today. I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue. I don't follow cannabis stocks very closely, but I think that maybe I should today. So real quick, do follow cannabis stocks today. Follow any cannabis stock. I don't know them very well. Maybe I'll do a video on them, but the bill, or the legalization bill, does pass today, or is supposed to be passed today. And a lot of people in Canada think it's going to for sure pass. So with that being said, I'm going to go back to sharing the screen. We got about 9 minutes here, and I will take a look at a few of your guys' stocks on here on YouTube. All right, so I'll take a quick look at ATX or ATHX. ATHX, I'm not a fan of. Most likely will not trade this. I know that you guys are asking of ATHX because it's gapping up, but it's gapped up, went up, and it's fully come down. So that's probably no good. All right. Not that it can't be, but typically when you see it look like this, where it pops up and crashes, it's usually no good. So not going to focus there on ATHX. HTBX. HTBX, I will most likely not be focusing here on this based off of the chart. As you can see, the chart doesn't have all that great of volume and it trades kind of choppy. All right, so I will not be focusing on that. The volume isn't great enough for me to watch. It did have a good day, but if you're going to focus on this, you're going to want to trade it. Just look for maybe a continuation over the 290s area. All right. The SPY. Let's talk about the SPY. So the SPY, once again, I think it gapped up a little bit today. Yeah, just a bit. I mean, like I've been saying the past couple days, right? The SPY is completely bullish. I would imagine that we're going to go up and we're going to retest this 280 area. I think we're going to pop up to 280s here in the coming days. Once we hit 280, right? So once we come up and actually test 280, I think we're going to end up seeing the stock. I think we're going to end up seeing the market or the SPY take a move to the downside. I think we're going to have a nice pullback off the 280s area. So do watch the SPY as it gets closer to 280. I think we're going to see a pullback. WYNN. 1 minute. I would watch WYNN to the long side today. I believe it might have a green day. That's what I would look for. Plug. Won't be trading Plug. I would not focus any attention on Plug. Plug's been around for a while and it never really does that great. You can clearly see it is, in fact, downtrending. And not to mention, if you look at the chart, you can see that it does not trade on really any good volume. You can see it's very ugly. Whenever a stock looks like this, you don't want to trade it. No good there. All right, on to the next one. MU, sure, why not? MU coming down off of, so it popped a little yesterday, green doji, then it popped up to 60 again today, rolling over. Oh, don't want that. I want this. You know, to be honest, I think MU is actually going to, I don't know if it's for sure going to go red today, but what I would expect might happen is I kind of think this could be setting up for another big move to the downside, because what this looks like to me is a failed pullback. So I would honestly be thinking short bias on Micron right now. And the reason I would say short bias is because you see the last time it had a good pullback, it pulled back to the 9 moving average and then it went higher. Whereas this time it had a very, very fast drop. It broke the 9 moving average, came right up and over, and now it's kind of coming back under. So this could be setting up for a move down. Probably, and if it does do that pullback, break through the 9, pop up, creates a lower high, it's probably going to drop down to the 50 moving average right there. All right. So I would probably be thinking short bias on MU. It doesn't mean it's going to go today. I think what it actually happens here today is we're going to start doing some of this. We're going to chop and then we're going to go down. All right. So do watch MU, and I think it's going short. HTBX. Hold on 1 second. COST. Costco up pretty big this morning. Costco doesn't trade super heavy on the volume side of things, but it is doing pretty well today. I honestly, I would just be neutral. I wouldn't really be anything much more than neutral on Costco. As you can see, for the past couple months, it's basically been chopping around in this area. So I would be at a neutral standstill on Costco for right now. Oh, one cent. MUCODX. CODX. Let me take a look there. I haven't seen this for a couple days. So I was correct on CODX. So CODX, I would probably, well, drop higher low. Yeah, CODX might actually have a little bit of a green day. It is trending up. So this would kind of be the money spot for CODX. Anywhere in this, you know, in this channel, specifically this corner right there, that's the money spot. So you might see a squeeze or a breakdown right at that peak right there in that corner, which is at like a price of 520, 515. CVNA trending up. I would say it's too high to actually buy at this point. It needs to pull back to the 9 moving average. So I would say not a buy on CVNA for right now. But all just based on a quick technical look. CLF, kind of choppy. That's okay from 8 to 820, not a ton of range. Honestly, I don't know about CLF. I don't follow it, but it really isn't. I don't think it's in a good area. Right now, it's in a consolidation zone. Right now, it's consolidating, and it has a little bit of a, you know, like a bullish pennant, a bear. You know, no, it's more of a descending triangle pattern. Honestly, I don't know. I would actually be thinking probably short bias on CLF. I mean, if you look at it, right, if you look at CLF, every time it gets up to these highs, it ends up dropping, right? So probably going to see this start coming that way, right? And then every time you see it gets down to these lows, it starts getting bought, you know, back up. On the flip side, you do have CLF, and it's actually trending up like so. So I would imagine that you're probably going to see something like this in the near future. You're going to see CLF break down to right here, and then there's going to be a new box that's somewhere in this area right there. And I would say that that is where your buy point is. That's what I would say. That is your buy point. Somewhere off of that trend line. All right. And what time is it? Oh, it's 9:01. It is 9:01. Let me get out of here. All right, cool. So that's a watch list there for you guys. I hope that helps. Again, main plays for me, AXON, 5 and below, and Smuckers, unless something changes from the time that I get off until market open, which very well could happen. It happens all the time. So to answer Christopher's question, do I think it's unfair? Pre-market trading is unfair to those who can't? No, I don't, because most people can trade pre-market. Almost all brokers allow you to trade pre-market. It's usually there's like an additional process that you have to go through for that. I mean, like if you're on Robinhood, you have to upgrade to Robinhood Gold, and then you can trade pre-market. If you're a TD Ameritrade, you just have to join the pre-market program. So all these different brokers usually allow you to trade pre-market. So it's up to you whether or not you want to. And I honestly don't think it's unfair. you know what I'm saying? It's definitely not unfair because you could easily be one of those people that get in pre-market and sell at the open. There's no shame in that, right? So, anywho, that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. I hope that helps you guys. Again, if you're new here, do remember to check out the description channel or the description box in this video or on my channel because it will provide the links to our stock trading chat room. It provides a link to our stock trading Facebook group. It provides the link to join our private group. So you can always check that out below. And then I will see you guys all tomorrow for another pre-market watch list video. So everybody take care and hopefully stay green. All right, that's all I got for you guys today.